Today, we are diving into a crucial topic, often unspoken yet profoundly important: the real cost of success no one talks about. We constantly see success portrayed as endless triumph, luxurious lifestyles, and unbridled freedom. We admire the accolades, wealth, and palpable achievement. It's a captivating vision, inspiring millions to pursue dreams. But what if there's a deeper narrative beneath this polished exterior? What if the path to that summit is paved with investments and sacrifices beyond what social media or magazines reveal? This isn't to discourage ambition, quite the opposite. This discussion aims to equip you with the wisdom of a true master of motivation, Jim Rohn. He understood that genuine success isn't just about what you get, but what you give and who you become. This distinction transforms how we approach aspirations, preparing us for the full journey. Jim Rohn, with his timeless insights, constantly reminded us success isn't a gift. It's an earned reward, a culmination of relentless effort, unwavering discipline, and deep personal transformation. His teachings cut through superficiality, urging focus on foundational principles. He wasn't interested in quick fixes. He revealed immutable laws of cause and effect in building a significant life. Rohn firmly believed for every desired outcome, there's a prerequisite investment. For every dream realized, there's an inherent price, often in currencies more valuable than money. This isn't pessimistic, it's realistic and empowering. It's the truth allowing you to prepare, strategize, and embrace the journey with open eyes, understanding what will be demanded. His philosophy encourages us to step into life not as passive recipients, but as active co-creators of our destiny, aware of the comprehensive commitment required. Many individuals pursue success without truly comprehending its demands. They see the finish line but fail to appreciate the grueling marathon preceding it. This leads to disillusionment, burnout, or abandoning worthy goals when hidden costs surface. Jim Rohn's teachings act as a powerful antidote. He laid bare the unvarnished truth, preparing individuals for challenges, not just celebrating triumphs. He wanted us to understand that while rewards are immense, the investment is equally substantial. Today, we'll unpack these crucial costs Jim Rohn articulated. We are going beyond the surface, beyond quotes and highlight reels, to grasp what it takes to build and sustain achievement. This isn't about scare tactics, it's about providing clarity, offering a map to navigate the sometimes treacherous, yet rewarding, terrain of ambition. It's about empowering you to make conscious choices, to step forward with intention, knowing what lies ahead. One immediate and tangible cost, often underestimated, is the colossal investment of your time and unwavering effort. Work hard is easy, but Jim Rohn delved deeper. He famously urged, "Work harder on yourself than you do on your job." This is a profound directive demanding countless hours for continuous learning, skill development, and relentless self-improvement. Think of early mornings or late nights when others rest. These are quiet moments where champions are forged, ideas refined, and future success laid, brick by brick. This isn't mere business. It's focused, intentional, often solitary effort. It means choosing discipline over fleeting pleasure, opting for growth instead of immediate gratification. We'll explore how this pursuit of mastery requires pushing past comfort zones, unwavering dedication to refinement, and unshakable commitment to never settling for less than your best. This isn't a sprint. It's a sustained, arduous journey that tests limits and demands every ounce of your dedication. Beyond the hours, another significant, less visible cost is the profound personal change and deep evolution success demands. To have more, as Jim Rohn taught, you must first become more. This isn't passive. It's an active, often uncomfortable, shedding of old habits, limiting beliefs, and outdated versions of yourself. It means willingly stepping out of your comfort zone, embracing vulnerability, and confronting fears and potential failure. This journey requires a radical mindset shift, replacing procrastination with action, doubt with conviction, and victimhood with responsibility. You'll need to develop resilience, a mental fortitude allowing you to navigate setbacks as crucial learning opportunities. This inner metamorphosis can be isolating, as your vision might outpace others, leading to solitude. We will delve into how this commitment to self-mastery is perhaps the most significant, often challenging, investment, impacting your emotional and spiritual landscape. Then there's a personal cost catching many off guard: the impact on relationships. As dedication to goals intensifies, time and energy for family, friends, and loved ones diminish. This isn't conscious neglect, but an unavoidable consequence of intense commitment. Jim Rohn, while advocating ambition, also spoke of balance and nourishing vital relationships. However, he acknowledged certain sacrifices are part of the deal. There might be missed gatherings, fewer outings, or moments when your mind is consumed by your vision, making you physically present but mentally distant. This can lead to misunderstandings, feelings of being overlooked, and even drifting apart. We'll explore the delicate balance, the necessity of conscious communication, and the emotional toll this cost can exact, emphasizing that while nurturing relationships is crucial, significant success often necessitates re-evaluation and reprioritization of time and emotional bandwidth. Finally, success isn't a destination. It's an ongoing journey with continuing costs. Jim Rohn declared, "Success is not something you pursue. Success is something you attract by the person you become." But becoming and staying that person requires continuous vigilance. Once goals are achieved, pressure to maintain, innovate, and adapt intensifies. Complacency becomes your greatest enemy. You're faced with heavier responsibilities, tougher decisions, and sometimes, isolation at the top. The world evolves, and so must you, constantly learning, refining, and reinventing. This isn't merely about protecting achievements, it's about evolving beyond them, continually raising your bar. Understanding these real, hidden costs isn't meant to deter you. Instead, it's designed to empower you, to prepare you for the beautiful, demanding, and profoundly rewarding journey ahead. By acknowledging these investments upfront, you can approach ambitions with clarity, resilience, and unshakable commitment. So, are you ready to embrace the full scope of what success demands? Join us as we unpack each insight, guided by Jim Rohn's wisdom, ensuring you're building a life of true, sustainable achievement. Let's dive in. Join us as we unpack each insight, guided by Jim Rohn's wisdom, ensuring you're building a life of true, sustainable achievement. Let's dive in. The journey to success often begins with the most fundamental sacrifice, your time and unwavering effort. We see the freedom and effortless command successful people appear to have, but what's hidden are the countless hours poured into development, the relentless pursuit of mastery, and the deliberate choices made when others were disengaged. Jim Rohn, deeply understanding human achievement, wasn't just talking about more work hours when he famously said, "Work harder on yourself than you do on your job." This profound directive highlights a massive, invisible cost. It means consciously dedicating significant portions of your life to self-improvement, learning new skills, deepening knowledge, honing your craft, even without immediate external reward. This isn't simply showing up, it's choosing discipline over instant gratification, consistently. It means late night studying, early mornings planning, and weekends invested in projects while peers enjoy leisure. It's the conscious decision to forego transient pleasures, social gatherings, binge-watching, extended rest, for purposeful action driving you closer to goals. The initial and often ongoing push demands an extraordinary allocation of your most precious resource, time. This investment is non-negotiable. It requires persistence and endurance beyond mere interest, a deep commitment to outwork your past self and continuously push your capabilities. The mental and physical energy expended daily in this pursuit of excellence represents a significant, often unacknowledged, cost of success. This persistent drive to learn, grow, and improve fuels the journey, demanding constant refueling through focused effort, even when progress is slow. Beyond the hours and sweat, a critical, often overlooked cost is the profound internal transformation required for genuine success, personal development. We all carry beliefs, habits, and comfort zones. Yet, as Jim Rohn wisely stated, to have more, you must become more. This isn't about acquiring possessions, it's about evolving into a better, more capable version of yourself. This evolution is seldom comfortable. It necessitates stepping deliberately outside your comfort zone, confronting ingrained fears, and embracing failure as an invaluable teacher. Shedding old, limiting beliefs, and adopting a growth mindset is an intense psychological undertaking. It means critically examining your worldview, challenging assumptions, and actively dismantling habits that no longer serve your higher aspirations. Imagine the discomfort of letting go of routines or beliefs that, while safe, hold you back. This internal restructuring demands courage to face self-doubt, endure the awkwardness of new behaviors, and persist when your old self tries to pull you back. It means cultivating self-discipline or developing resilience to setbacks. This journey of self-reinvention often feels isolating. As you change, some people might not understand your vision, questioning or criticizing your ambition, adding to this personal development cost. Navigating external reactions while managing internal shifts requires immense emotional fortitude. This constant striving for self-improvement, becoming a person worthy of the success you seek, is an ongoing, deep investment in your mental and emotional capital. It's about reshaping identity, not just circumstances, a truly profound cost. Furthermore, success often demands a significant, yet rarely discussed, toll on your personal relationships. When you pour heart, soul, and considerable time into ambitious goals, energy and availability for family, friends, and loved ones inevitably diminish. It's not always conscious neglect, but a consequence of intense focus to build something extraordinary. Jim Rohn, while advocating for ambition, recognized this delicate balance. He encouraged managing time and energy wisely, nurturing important relationships, yet accepting some sacrifice is unavoidable. This cost isn't just showing up less, it's about potential misunderstandings, feeling overlooked by those closest, and emotional distance. Your loved ones might not always comprehend your drive or the magnitude of your effort. They might miss the old you with more spontaneous time. This can lead to tension, resentment, or drifting apart. The challenge becomes communicating your vision, explaining commitments, and actively seeking understanding and support from your inner circle. It requires intentional effort to bridge gaps, to reassure those who matter most they are still valued, even if your presence isn't as frequent. This isn't just a time cost, it's an emotional one, demanding careful navigation of expectations, persistent communication, and the painful realization that not everyone can journey with you at the same pace. Relationships surviving this period are built on deep trust, mutual respect, and profound understanding of your aspirations. This delicate dance between personal ambition and relational responsibility is undeniably one of the most sensitive and costly aspects, forcing you to constantly evaluate and reprioritize what truly matters. Finally, reaching success isn't the finish line. It ushers in a new, demanding cost, maintaining it. Jim Rohn observed, "Success is not something you pursue. It is something you attract by the person you become." This implies the journey of becoming never ends. Once achieved, pressure intensifies. You must continuously learn, innovate, adapt, and evolve to stay relevant. Complacency leads to erosion. Maintaining success means constantly pushing boundaries, facing greater responsibilities, higher stakes, and complex challenges. Leadership's weight, public scrutiny, and tough decisions are immense. Often, there's unique loneliness at the top. This cost includes constant vigilance, humility to keep learning, and relentless innovation. Success isn't static, it's a dynamic equilibrium. The true cost is not just attaining the peak, but the unwavering commitment to stay there, keep climbing, and never stop evolving. This dedication ensures you remain attractive to greater achievements and a profound legacy. Welcome back to our journey into the often unseen truths of success, guided by the profound wisdom of Jim Rohn. We've begun to uncover that the real cost isn't merely about achieving the pinnacle, but about the unwavering commitment demanded to stay there, to keep climbing, and to relentlessly evolve. This dedication, as Rohn so eloquently suggested, is what truly makes you attractive to even greater achievements and ultimately, to building a profound, lasting legacy. But what exactly does this unwavering commitment entail in practical, day-to-day terms, beyond the initial ascent? What are the subtle, yet significant, investments required to sustain that magnetic pull towards continuous accomplishment? The first layer of this sustained cost is the perpetual discipline to avoid complacency. It's easy to believe that once you've reached a certain level of success, the hard work is over. That couldn't be further from the truth. Jim Rohn famously advised, "Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better." This isn't just about the climb. It's profoundly about what happens once you've secured your footing on a higher ledge. The world doesn't stop moving, competition doesn't vanish, and challenges don't disappear just because you've won a round. In fact, they often intensify. The cost here is the constant vigilance, the daily choice to put in the effort even when you don't feel like it, especially when the initial thrill has worn off. It's the quiet adherence to routines, the commitment to showing up consistently, and the relentless pursuit of excellence in the mundane. This sustained discipline is a hidden tax on your time and energy, but it pays dividends in maintaining your position and creating opportunities for further growth. Without it, the peak you work so hard to reach can quickly become a plateau, and then a slippery slope downwards. Then there's the escalating pressure and amplified responsibility that accompany greater success. As your influence grows, so does the weight on your shoulders. Decisions that once affected only you now impact teams, organizations, and even communities. The cost here is the mental fortitude required to bear that weight, to make tough calls under intense scrutiny, and to live with the consequences, good or bad. Jim Rohn's philosophy encourages us to prepare for these challenges, understanding that success is not to be pursued, it is to be attracted by the person you become. The person who attracts significant success must be capable of handling significant responsibility. This means developing an inner resilience that allows you to remain calm amidst chaos, clear-headed under pressure, and decisive when others hesitate. This isn't a one-time skill you acquire, it's a muscle you must continuously train and strengthen, day after day, year after year. The emotional and psychological investment in cultivating this strength is immense, often going unnoticed by those who only see the outward signs of achievement. Beyond managing external pressures, there's the crucial cost of continuous learning and proactive adaptation. The world is in a constant state of flux, and yesterday's winning formula can quickly become today's outdated strategy. To stay relevant and continue attracting success, you must commit to being a lifelong student. This means dedicating time, energy, and often financial resources to acquiring new knowledge, mastering new skills, and understanding emerging trends. Jim Rohn taught us that you must constantly be working on yourself to become more than you are. This isn't a suggestion, it's a mandatory investment. The cost manifests as the discomfort of unlearning old habits, embracing vulnerability as you step into new areas of expertise, and maintaining intellectual curiosity even when you feel you've already made it. It's the humility to admit what you don't know and the courage to seek out what you need to learn. This ongoing educational journey is not a luxury. It's an essential expenditure for anyone serious about sustaining their trajectory and building a meaningful legacy in an ever-changing landscape. Furthermore, a significant, often overlooked, cost is the ongoing internal transformation and evolution of your identity. Success, especially sustained success, demands a version of yourself that is constantly growing, refining, and shedding old skins. This isn't just about acquiring skills, it's about changing who you are at a fundamental level. You might find that the beliefs, habits, and even relationships that served you well on the initial climb no longer align with the person you need to become at the top. Jim Rohn's powerful statement, "For things to change, you have to change," takes on an even deeper meaning here. This process of internal evolution can be profoundly challenging, even painful. It requires a willingness to confront your own limitations, biases, and fears, and to consistently push past your comfort zone. The cost is the psychological labor of self-assessment, self-correction, and the sometimes lonely journey of personal reinvention. It's the investment in mental clarity, emotional intelligence, and spiritual alignment that allows you to operate at increasingly higher levels. This continuous shedding of the old self and embracing of the new is perhaps the most profound and demanding cost, yet it is utterly indispensable for anyone aiming not just for a fleeting moment of glory, but for a truly enduring legacy. These invisible investments in personal evolution are what truly define the real cost of success. Word count, 1,000 words. Beyond the initial leaps of personal evolution, there's a profound psychological toll that success often demands, one that rarely makes it into the glossy testimonials. We talk about developing new habits and skills, but what about the sheer mental fortitude required to sustain that growth, day in and day out? Jim Rohn often spoke about discipline not as a punishment, but as the pathway to freedom. Yet, for many, the discipline required to achieve and maintain success can feel like a constant internal battle. It's the battle against self-doubt, the anxiety of making pivotal decisions, and the immense pressure to perform consistently at an elite level. This isn't a one-time payment, it's a recurring psychological investment. You're constantly pushing against your own comfort zones, confronting fears, and processing setbacks. The mental energy expended in this continuous cycle of learning, adapting, and striving is immense. It asks you to not just do more, but to be more, fundamentally transforming your internal landscape. This sustained mental effort can be exhausting, a silent cost that accrues over time, often invisible to onlookers who only see the results, not the relentless grind within. This internal transformation, while essential, often creates another unspoken cost, the impact on our personal relationships. As you evolve, your interests, perspectives, and even your priorities can diverge dramatically from those of your existing circle. Jim Rohn wisely observed, "You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with." If you're actively working to elevate that average, it often means outgrowing some relationships. This isn't a judgment, it's a natural consequence of growth. The people who once understood you perfectly might no longer resonate with your ambitious drive or your new way of thinking. You might find yourself in situations where old friends don't grasp the magnitude of your vision, or perhaps they even feel threatened by your ascent. This can lead to a sense of isolation, a loneliness at the top that no one really prepares you for. It's not just about sacrificing time with loved ones, it's about the emotional toll of feeling misunderstood, or having to consciously distance yourself from influences that no longer serve your higher purpose. Cultivating new relationships with like-minded individuals, those who inspire and challenge you, becomes crucial, but this too takes time and effort, adding another layer to the invisible costs. The price here is often paid in emotional currency, in navigating changing dynamics, and sometimes in the quiet sorrow of letting go of connections that once meant the world to you. Furthermore, success isn't a fixed state, it's a moving target, demanding continuous reinvention. The world never stands still, and neither can you if you intend to stay at the forefront. Jim Rohn emphasized, "Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better." This philosophy applies not just to achieving success but to sustaining it. Once you've reached a certain level, the expectation for innovation, adaptation, and continued excellence intensifies. The cost here is the constant pressure to stay ahead of the curve, to anticipate trends, and to never rest on your laurels. Complacency, Rohn warned, is the greatest enemy of progress. You might have achieved monumental success in one area, only to find that the landscape has shifted, requiring you to learn an entirely new set of skills or even pivot your entire strategy. This demands a relentless commitment to learning, a willingness to be a perpetual student, regardless of your accomplishments. It's the invisible cost of staying relevant, of constantly upgrading your mental software, and of embracing discomfort as a necessary catalyst for continued growth. This isn't just about updating your knowledge, it's about challenging your own assumptions, letting go of what used to work, and being brave enough to venture into the unknown, all while under the spotlight of your previous achievements. The fear of obsolescence, the drive to remain impactful, and the burden of leadership all contribute to this ongoing, significant investment. And then there's the profound emotional investment, the part of success that transcends mere time, effort, or even psychological strain. This is about pouring your very soul into your endeavors. It's the sleepless nights replaying decisions, the intense joy of a breakthrough, and the gut-wrenching pain of a failure. Jim Rohn's teachings often circled back to the idea that true success is about becoming a person of value. And becoming that person means investing your deepest emotions into your journey. It's not just about showing up, it's about caring deeply, about feeling the weight of your vision, and about having the courage to remain vulnerable even as you lead. This emotional cost manifests in countless ways: the resilience to bounce back from crushing disappointments, the humility to admit when you're wrong, and the unwavering belief in your path when everyone else doubts. It's the constant management of hope and despair, the ability to maintain enthusiasm in the face of indifference, and the profound sense of responsibility you feel for those you serve or lead. This isn't a quantifiable cost, it's the very essence of what makes success meaningful, yet it's also the most draining. It requires an emotional stamina that few possess, and an unwavering commitment to your values even when they are tested. The sacrifices here are not just tangible assets, but fragments of your emotional self, invested with the hope of a greater return. These aren't hidden costs, they are foundational requirements, the emotional bedrock upon which true and lasting achievement is built. Understanding these profound emotional investments allows us to approach success not just as a goal, but as a deeply personal and transformative odyssey. It redefines our perception of the journey, highlighting the incredible strength and vulnerability it truly demands from each of us. Understanding these profound emotional investments allows us to approach success not just as a goal, but as a deeply personal and transformative odyssey, redefining our perception of the journey and highlighting the incredible strength and vulnerability it truly demands from each of us. We often celebrate the destination, the peak of the mountain, without truly acknowledging the arduous climb, the calloused hands, weary feet, and unwavering spirit required. Jim Rohn, in his inimitable wisdom, didn't just offer motivation. He offered a profound philosophy for living, a blueprint for achieving and sustaining an extraordinary life. His insights into the true cost of success are not meant to deter us, but to equip us with foresight and resilience needed to navigate challenges. He wanted us to enter this journey with open eyes, fully aware of the stakes, ready to pay the price, and ultimately, to reap the immeasurable rewards. So, let's revisit these essential, often unspoken, costs. First, there's the investment of time and relentless effort. This isn't just about clocking in hours, it's about the conscious, deliberate allocation of your most precious, non-renewable resource, time, towards your vision. Jim Rohn consistently reminded us, work harder on yourself than you do on your job. This isn't a casual suggestion, it's a mandate for personal sovereignty. It means dedicating those early mornings before the world stirs, or those late nights after everyone else has retreated, to study, to practice, to innovate, to refine. It's the solitary hours spent mastering a skill, absorbing knowledge, or meticulously planning your next move. It's the discipline to forego instant gratification, the alluring distractions, the fleeting pleasures, in favor of long-term dividends. This cost demands an unwavering commitment to self-improvement, a willingness to continually stretch beyond your comfort zone, and a persistent drive to always be better than you were yesterday. It's the cumulative effect of these countless, often unseen, sacrifices that ultimately builds the foundation for extraordinary achievement. Without this fundamental investment, success remains a distant fantasy, an unfulfilled aspiration. Then, we explored the cost of personal change and relentless self-development. Success doesn't merely happen to you. You must become the person capable of attracting and handling it. Jim Rohn's powerful assertion, to have more, you must become more, encapsulates this truth perfectly. This isn't a passive process, it's an active, sometimes painful, transformation. It means confronting your limiting beliefs, shedding old habits that no longer serve your higher purpose, and cultivating new disciplines and mindsets aligned with your elevated ambitions. This transformation often involves profound self-discovery, where you are forced to look inward, examine your flaws, and proactively work towards growth. There will be moments of self-doubt, moments when the path feels overwhelming, and perhaps even moments of failure that test your resolve. Yet, it is precisely through these crucible experiences that true strength of character is forged. The cost here is emotional and psychological. The courage to step outside your comfort zone, the humility to learn from mistakes, the resilience to bounce back from setbacks, and the unwavering belief in your own capacity for evolution. This personal metamorphosis is not just a prerequisite for success, it is success in its most fundamental form. Next, we considered the impact on personal relationships. As you pour your energy, focus, and time into your pursuits, the dynamics with loved ones inevitably shift. This isn't a judgment, it's a reality. The sheer intensity required to build something significant can sometimes create distance, even with those closest to you. Family and friends might not always understand the depth of your drive or the solitude demanded by your vision. There can be misunderstandings, feelings of neglect, and the painful realization that some relationships may naturally drift as your path diverges. Jim Rohn, ever the pragmatist, understood that while it's vital to nurture important connections, some sacrifices are inherent to the journey. The cost here isn't just lost time, it's the emotional labor of explaining your choices, seeking understanding, and actively working to maintain bonds that are truly essential. It's about finding that delicate balance, discerning which relationships genuinely nourish your spirit and support your vision, and recognizing that not everyone will be able to accompany you on every step of your ascent. This particular cost often carries a heavy emotional weight, forcing us to make difficult decisions and cultivate deeper empathy and communication skills. Finally, we talked about the often overlooked cost of maintaining success. Reaching the summit is one thing. Staying there, and continuing to ascend, is an entirely different challenge. Success is not a final destination, it's an ongoing process, a continuous commitment to excellence. Jim Rohn's warning rings true. Success is not something you pursue. Success is something you attract by the person you become. To sustain what you've built, you must continuously innovate, adapt, and evolve. Complacency, that insidious enemy, lurks around every corner, ready to erode your hard-won gains. The higher you climb, the greater the pressure, the heavier the responsibility, and sometimes, the lonelier the view from the top. Maintaining success demands constant learning, rigorous self-assessment, a willingness to embrace new challenges, and the fortitude to make tough decisions that impact not just yourself, but often many others. This cost involves the unending vigilance required to protect your vision, your values, and your momentum, never resting on your laurels but always striving for the next level of contribution and impact. So, what does all of this mean for us? It means approaching the pursuit of our goals with a profound sense of realism, but also with an unwavering spirit of determination. These costs are not deterrents, they are simply the necessary investments, the non-negotiable prerequisites for achieving anything truly meaningful and lasting. Jim Rohn wanted us to embrace this truth, not shy away from it. He understood that understanding the full price allows us to make a conscious, informed decision to commit, to prepare, and to persist. When we view these challenges not as burdens but as opportunities for growth, as the very forge in which our character is tempered, then the journey transforms from a daunting task into a purposeful adventure. Consider these costs as your tuition fees for a life extraordinary. Each sacrifice, each late night, each uncomfortable growth spurt, each difficult conversation, each moment of perseverance is an investment in the person you are becoming. And that person, forged in the fires of discipline and dedication, will be equipped not just to achieve success, but to handle it, to sustain it, and ultimately, to leverage it for greater good. The richness of a life well lived, a life of impact and fulfillment, is not found in avoiding these costs, but in courageously paying them, knowing that every single one contributes to the masterpiece of your own making. This perspective shifts our focus from merely acquiring external accolades to cultivating internal fortitude. It's about building an unshakable inner game that can withstand the inevitable storms and celebrate the hard-won victories. The real reward isn't just the wealth or the recognition, but the person you transform into along the way, a person of integrity, resilience, wisdom, and profound capability. That, truly, is the ultimate dividend of these profound investments. Now, it's your turn. I encourage you to pause and reflect on your own journey toward success. What costs are you currently paying, or are you willing to pay, to manifest your deepest aspirations? How are you actively investing in your personal growth, your relationships, and your unwavering commitment to your vision? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Let's build a community that embraces the full spectrum of success, the glamour and the grit, the rewards and the responsibilities. If this discussion resonated with you, if it offered a fresh perspective on your own ambitions, please give this video a thumbs up. Subscribe to our channel for more insights inspired by the timeless wisdom of Jim Rohn and other great minds who challenge us to live our best lives. Share this video with someone who needs to hear this empowering truth about the true nature of achievement. Remember, the path to success is rarely paved with ease, but it is always paved with purpose. Embrace the costs, for they are the very sculptors of your character and the architects of your destiny. Thank you for joining us today, and until next time, keep working harder on yourself, keep growing, and keep striving to become the extraordinary individual you are meant to be. The real cost of success isn't a burden. It's an invitation to become truly exceptional.